a new Democrat. And he turned and looked at him when he said it. Now, you know what that was? That was moderate David Gergen saying to very far ultra-left Bill Clinton, the only chance you have here is if you go back to what you said during the campaign. This new Democrat stuff is where your success is, and if you don't go to that, then you have no choice. You have no prayer. So let's just see what happens. Will income tax retroactivity go by the wayside? Will they get rid of this stupid notion that the government can provide health care for everybody? Will there be welfare reform? Will some of these idiotic tax increases, hey, it's not too late for the president to change his mind in this economic plan. I mean, it is in a sense, but he's compromising on some things. Let's just watch what happens. You can sit here and talk about all the wonderful things that this change portends, but until there are actual policy differences or policy changes, then we won't know, or we will know that this is nothing but an attempt at symbolism over something. In fact, I am holding here, even while on vacation, as a service to this audience, I read. This time I was reading to the sound of the crashing waves hitting the beach. I safely ensconced above the beach, about 25 floors on a deck. Nowhere near the beach, nowhere near the water, but safely within distance to hear it. It's a remarkably relaxing effect. And William Safire, in his column on Monday's paper, writes this: signals are nice, but substance is better. Where have you people heard that? In another turn of phrase, symbolism over substance. Here are a few questions that will determine if the president has redefined his mission or if, like John Major in Britain, he's merely buying time. Does Clinton still intend to press ahead with his plan to raise taxes retroactive to last January while postponing even his modest spending cuts until 3 or 4 years from now? Does Clinton now buy his own budget director Leon Panetta's original proposal of $2 in cuts for every dollar in taxes to reduce the deficit? Does Clinton still subscribe to the disavowed but all too accurate Tarnoff doctrine of we're too poor to lead? Or will we see some muscle instead of continued hand-wringing in the Balkans? And hardest of all, does the old Clinton dare to tell the other Clinton that price-rigged, low-deductible, demand-generating, taxpayer-subsidized health insurance does not fit into the mainstream he again professes to represent? And these are all salient questions, and you can come up with your own. And if there are no changes in these areas, then all of this is nothing more than smokescreen. And if there are changes in these areas, then that'll be amazing. We have today on today's show some interesting environmental news. There's a fascinating thing in the Sunday New York Times magazine. Did you see it, Lobianco, called? You weren't reading the paper on Sunday? Is humanity suicidal? I've highlighted some stuff. The guy who wrote this is Edward O. Wilson, who holds the Frank B. Baird Jr. Professorship of Science at Harvard. And I'm going to read this to you. It's the most amazing thing that you've ever heard. We've got conflicting environmental news. Now we got also Pat Michaels, University of Virginia. Some other scientists say that global warming is not happening. In fact, whatever warming there is taking place is happening at night, not the daytime, and there is no melting of the polar ice caps. In addition, the president is in Wisconsin today, and he has been issued a challenge by Polly Williams regarding school choice. She wrote him a letter. I have a copy of that letter. Wisconsin Governor Tommy Thompson has introduced a new plan about welfare, reforming welfare, and it's a good idea. Johnny Apple had an amazing piece in the New York Times on Monday morning, an analysis piece called An Offering to the Wolves. It's about Bye-Bye Stephanopoulos, hello Gergen, and it says it's an offering to the wolves. Do you know who the wolves are? An offering to the wolves. May I ask you, I get into journalism student over the weekend about who the wolves are. The wolves are the press. The press. Well, who do you think the wolves are? Moderate now. No, he's not getting rid of Steve. He's getting rid of Stephanopoulos for the press is who's nipping at his heels. The wolves. I mean, here's a story by the press admitting that the press are factors. There's the most incredible line in it that we will discuss. The controversy continues to rage over the authenticity, or the accuracy, I should better say, of the real Anita Hill. By David Brock, William Simon weighs in today in the Wall Street Journal with some considerable supporting evidence for David Brock. And the evidence continues to look bad for the two femme fatales, Jane Mayer and somebody else, Jill somebody else, who wrote something to the contrary that was published in the New Yorker. And Walter Williams, this is going to stun you people. Walter Williams is a columnist and an economist at George Mason University in Washington. He's black, a very good friend of Thomas Sowell, by the way, and he has written a piece published in the New York Post today. I don't know if it's been in your paper yet. But there are many people who believe that the founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, were racists because they owned slaves and did not write the Constitution for all citizens. Walter Williams, a black economist, takes this theory to task in a brilliant piece with quotes from various of the founding fathers. It's a fascinating piece. We'll talk about it in great detail. What else? That's it. There's some other your phone calls as well. The LA mayor's race heating up. Michael Wu panicking big time. Love it, love it. You may not know this. Reading advertising, of all places to find this story. Maybe you've seen it somewhere else, but I haven't. Do you know that Uberoff has quit the Rebuild LA program? You didn't know that, Lo Bianco? Did you know it, HR? Did you know it? Did you know it, Bo? It is an advertising age. The latest issue of advertising has not been in the mainstream press. UB, out. Rebuild LA. So, Milton Friedman, also a great column, Wall Street Journal today, on jobs, wages, and income, and how the Clinton plan doesn't satisfy anything. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Jason, we aren't angry. We just want to know who gave you this book.
Son, we don't want you looking at pictures of two men in bed together. Where did you get this?
But they said it was okay. They said it was a family.
Who said that, honey? Who gave you this?
My teacher, Mom. I got it at school.
Remember when schools just taught the basics? Well, today a more radical agenda is being forced on our kids. Hi, I'm Gary Bauer, President of the Family Research Council and former Undersecretary of Education for Bill Bennett. Today, some school officials want to teach first graders about homosexuality. Condoms are being handed out in middle schools, and textbooks are even being rewritten with values hostile to the family. For a suggested donation of $20, I'll send you a special report on what you can do to protect your children. Call 1-800-767-5100 now, and I'll also send our monthly newsletter, Washington Watch. If you want advance warning on what Washington has planned for your family tomorrow, call us today, 1-800-767-5100.
The vocabulary of the average person stops growing by age 25. Your vocabulary is limited. Your potential for success is too. Hi, this is Rush Limbaugh. Verbal Advantage, Achievement Dynamics' powerful audio cassette program gives you the words you need to succeed. Just by listening, you'll learn word meanings, pronunciation, and usage, plus essential power words to give you confidence in any situation. To learn more, call now, 1-800-28-TAPES. That's 800-28-TAPES.
Hello again, the Wachovia guy here with more about Wachovia's 8.9% Prime Plus Visa and MasterCard. Hey, we all use credit cards. Use mine just as much as the next guy. No big deal, right? Until you realize that some cards out there are charging up to 18% interest. It's ridiculous. I mean, why subject yourself to an overpriced credit card when you can get an 8.9% Prime Plus card from Wachovia? They're cheaper, make it easier to get by. And if you apply by June 30th, you'll even get a $50 rebate. Hey, $50. And Prime Plus comes with transfer checks too. Use them to pay off the other credit cards. After that, just trash your old plastic. So let's cut right to the chase here. It's not crazy to use a credit card. On the other hand, paying a ton in interest is just plain nuts. That's it for now. Catch you later.
Annual percentage rate may vary monthly. $39 annual fee. See a Wachovia personal banker for details. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Wachovia.
I'm kind of starting to like that guy.
It's not the percentage off you get on the merchandise you buy, it's what you pay that counts. Monk's Furniture has revolutionized the way you buy furniture. Low, deeply discounted furniture on sale every day. Salespeople authorized to give on-the-spot discounts. A great selection of name-brand furniture in Monk's 22,000 square foot showroom and a low-key, no-pressure approach to doing business. Monk's calls it shopping the warehouse way. You'll call it a great deal. There's a difference in furniture stores. Monk's Furniture, Highway 70 LaGrange.
Monk's has everything you expect from your furniture store.
Knowles Carpet. Your Carpet One store in Goldsboro is giving you lower prices and better service for your home or business. You'll enjoy choosing your carpet from Knowles. Now save up to 50% off all Karastat Oriental rugs in stock. Also save up to 50% off all room size remnants and more. See Knowles Carpet for complete floor products. They're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 till 5:30 and by appointment. Knowles Carpet, 2311 Way Memorial Drive, Goldsboro. Quality flooring expertly installed.
Performing my job with flawless broadcast excellence, this is Rush Limbaugh on WGBR.
Now is the time, now is the year. Rush Limbaugh. This ain't fiction, it's fact. Break it down for me, brother.
We're here in New York on the EIB Network. 1-800-282-2882. Somebody called it, and I can't remember who, but it was somebody in the press. Somebody said it was courageous of President Clinton to go to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial yesterday. Courageous. Courageous. You are nodding your head in the affirmative, Sir Snerdley. You think it was... You think it took gonads to go there, huh? Huge. Well, let me tell you something here. I can understand how those of you who think that it was courageous to go to the wall might feel, but let's examine. What did he do? He shows up in a beautiful, serene park on a national holiday in our nation's capital. He has armed guards all around him. 200 to 300 young whippersnappers are moved to the front of the audience to provide loud cheers and applause. The protesters are moved 2 football fields away from the president. And those people who were moved away from the president were guys who had been ducking mortar fire and dodging bullets in Vietnam during a tour of duty. You want to talk courage? This is what's wrong with the way we apply. I mean, was it gutsy even to do it? I mean, I think he had to do it. There's no question. He was invited. He's invited by a Vietnam vets group to go. Did you also notice, some of you people who are more keen observers of these ceremonial things than am I will have to answer this question. But when the president went to the Tomb of the Unknown and then over to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, he's the first president to have gone there, by the way. No other president. But he said something else. He said he was the first president in 12 years to go. Would you get off at his 12 years? The thing's only been open for 9. The Vietnam... Lo Bianco's in there going, oh, well, I didn't know that. See, that's why I like Rush, because he tells me things I didn't know. That's right. It's only been open 9 years, and there's Clinton saying, the last 12 years, I'm the first president, 12 years. My question for you observers of a ceremony, isn't it common for the First Lady to attend these ceremonies with the President? Didn't Mrs. Bush go with President Bush to the Tomb of the Unknown, and didn't Nancy Reagan do the same? Where was Hillary Rodham Clinton? Was she in a conversation with David Rodham Gergen about the future of the country? That'd be an interesting conversation to hear. I'm just kidding a little bit about that. But I think that I got a call last night. I got a call from a very, very good friend of mine who was just outraged at the appearance at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial by President Clinton. And it's particularly, this guy was a Vietnam vet, and he said something which I reminded people of on a couple of occasions prior to Monday. It was last week that I did this. But let's not forget, it's so easy. These people want to put it all behind them. People like Clinton who ran and did what they could to avoid service. But there's more than that. I mean, it's one thing to avoid the draft. I mean, that's its own thing. But he went out and protested. He protested his country and its policies and did it on foreign soil. And while he thinks that he probably brought consciousness to a new level on the part of American citizens and government officials and brought about, therefore, an early end of the war, most feel, especially those who were there being shot at, that actions like those of President Clinton and his friends prolonged the war and caused even greater loss of life. And that's what they don't forgive. And they see his trip there as an attempt to just rhetorically put it behind him. We're America. We're all together now. Let's forget disagreement and move on and so forth. And they were just offended by it, and I can understand why.
Hi, my name is Kayleen. I'm 5 years old. Last summer, my mom gave me Hooked on Phonics, and I learned to read. It was fun. When I started kindergarten, I was the best reader in my class. This summer, you should try Hooked on Phonics. Maybe you can learn to read like me.
Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
I'm Wayne Alley reporting WGBR News. Wayne County Finance Officer Norman Ricks told commissioners today that he's cut $1,019,000 from the budget. Commissioners told him to cut another $300,000. Ricks told the commissioners a pay raise for county employees ranging from 1% to 2.5% would cost between $64,000 and $224,000. A one-time bonus of $500 would cost $150,000. The commissioners took no action today, but are continuing their study of the budget. In other news today, a Fayetteville couple and their 8-year-old granddaughter perished in a fire that destroyed their automobile after it went out of control during a rainstorm on Highway 55 near the Wayne-Sampson County line yesterday afternoon. The State Patrol in Goldsboro said the 1991 Lincoln Town car, believed to have been driven by 60-year-old Virginia Reginald Butts, crossed the center line, sideswiped another vehicle, then was struck in the left rear side and quarter panel and was fully engulfed by flames after the impact. A truck driver told the investigating trooper he did all possible to try to help the victims, but the fire was too hot. Nobody could help them. In an unrelated accident, 14-year-old Eugenia McElroy of Route 1 Princeton died following a single-vehicle accident on Stevens Mill Road Sunday. The patrol said she and 14-year-old Penelope Scoggins of Robin Lake Drive, Dudley, were thrown out of the vehicle driven by 17-year-old Melissa Carol Tillman of Mount Olive when it went out of control at an excessive speed and struck the abutment of Stevens Mill Bridge. Ms. Scoggins remains in critical condition in Pitt Memorial Hospital. Retired Air Force officer Ed Kelly told a Memorial Day gathering of about 100 in Goldsboro that our founding fathers had feared that government would elevate itself above the people, and it appears to be happening. Kelly said less than 1% of the people of this country have differing sexual preferences, but they're being treated as a majority to the detriment of this country's combat effectiveness.
The introduction of sexual attraction can destroy this ability to work together as a team in a combat atmosphere and can destroy the will to win, which is essential in a combat environment. If the homosexuals don't get us, our own government may do us in with reduced spending on defense in order to fund more entitlement programs.
Lieutenant Colonel Ed Kelly. And that's an update of WGBR News. Stay tuned for the latest Weather Center updates. I'm Wayne Alley reporting for WGBR.
We are expecting to see a lot of sunshine today, although for some of you it'll be a little bit of a wait. This morning, some cloud cover and also scattered showers and thunderstorms. They'll be ending by around midday. The afternoon, partly cloudy, and it'll be fairly warm. Highs generally in the upper 70s to around 80, but the humidity dropping this afternoon from where it's been this morning. Clear tonight, lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs 75 to 80. I'm Bill Schmidt at the Weather Center.
Talk of the Town, 1150 WGBR.
Day of June. First day of June, summertime is upon us, and still comfortably chilly in many parts of the country, although not all. 800-282-2882. It's the Rush Limbaugh program, and Beth Page, New York, and Nick is where we'll start on phones today. Nick, hello.
Hi, Rush.
Yes, sir.
Mega Dan's Bake Sale Survivor Dittos from the People's Republic of New York.
Thanks, I'm glad you called. You were there, eh?
Yes, sir, and I had a great time. It was about 100 feet from you, and didn't get a chance to get your attention or anything, but we were hollering right along with you.
Well, I believe me, I was moved. I heard you all. It was just tough to distinguish individuals.
It was great. We got you on tape, and I've been showing it to people and telling them this is what America ought to be. Anyway, the reason I'm calling is about this Gergen appointment. Bubba must think we're really the stupidest people on the earth. That somehow this is going to signal some change in his administration, and he's going to be able to sell this present package as a deficit reduction plan.
Wait a minute. Why are you unsold on the Gergen move?
On the Gergen move?
Yeah.
I think it's just liberal symbolism over substance.
Wait a second. It may be. What about Gergen? Gergen's a serious guy. Gergen is not into symbolism over substance. He's a moderate, and he's pro-business. There's a lot in Clinton's economic plan that Gergen disagrees with. I think Gergen voted for Clinton. I think Gergen is part of this school that bought this new Democrat business. I think there are a bunch of people, independents, moderates, and Democrats, who thought that they were on the verge of creating a new monster party that was going to take control of the Democratic Party from the liberals, and they are shocked and stunned, aghast, and beside themselves to see what Clinton is doing. Gergen's been writing about that, so Clinton brings him in.
Yeah, well, I agree with that, but I think Gergen is going to be shocked and stunned again, and about 6 months from now he's going to walk out on Clinton, because Clinton is going to try to use Gergen.
Well, there's one thing. I just made a comment, and everybody sucked in a big, deep breath. But they're leaving out one of the huge factors of this whole equation, and that's the First Lady, Hillary Rodham Clinton. She is a co-president. There can be no argument about this. I don't want to get sidetracked with people. Well, do you disagree with that, Rush? I mean, you hate women? No, it's nothing of the sort. I'm just saying this is the political reality with which we are dealing. She's a co-president, and we don't know what effect Gergen's presence is going to have on her.
I don't think it's going to have much of an effect, Rush.
Well, if it doesn't, then you're right. He may be a short-timer.
I think he's going to be out of there with quite vocally. I think he's got a lot of class. I don't think he's going to bolt and write a book or anything like that. I just think he's going to have his disagreement and walk away.
I heard once, I should ask somebody about this, I heard when David Burke left ABC News to go become the president of CBS News, that they offered the job of president of ABC News to David Gergen. And he said no. He'd rather be on the air and be commentator, like do the stuff George Will does. And since ABC already has a George Will named George Will, that there was no place for Gergen. Now he is set up fairly well for whatever happens. Ex-White House guys do very well. And I don't think anything is going to happen here to damage Gergen's integrity. This doesn't prove that guilt by association is not always factual. Because I think that Gergen will survive it. It's going to be real interesting to watch, because if he's unable to forge substantive policy changes, he will be flabbergasted, frustrated, and I don't think he's going to want to be associated with something that was a ruse. So Clinton is, I think, between a rock and a hard place on this stuff too. It boils down to Clinton's got to get some things done, and he's for a whole lot of reasons, not the least of which is re-election. That's really what everybody in public office focuses on, and he's not doing a good job of that. So he has to get some things done in that area, and it'll just be interesting to see. Nick, thanks for the call. McLeod, California is up next. Christine, welcome to the Rush Limbaugh program.
Thank you very much. Make a dittos from McLeod.
Thank you.
Rush, what I'm calling about is I'm a Democrat, and I'm a woman, and I'm not being represented either by the presidency or my representation in the Senate. So I called, and I called my senator, and I told her I want her to vote no on the economic package. I'm tired of noblesse oblige. I'm tired of people deciding how they should vote for me. And I'd like to know if there's
well,
a way...
they have no choice. I mean, that's what our system of government is. People are going to vote for you. That's what we do here.
But what I would like to know is there a way to find out how my senator voted? And I'd also like to say that I think there's a way we can be more represented by maybe sending a postcard with lip prints on them, lipstick prints on them, that say, "No, read my lips, no new taxes."
Look, I'll be very simple. If your senator's a Democrat, since you're from California, your senator is a Democrat. They're both women, they're both Democrats. When it comes to taxes, they voted for them. That's all you have to know. Without even looking at the roll, I know how they're going to vote. They haven't yet. The Senate has not voted. Christine, thanks for the call. York, Pennsylvania. Dave, hello. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm a hero.
Thanks for calling, sir.
Rush.
Yeah.
Let me pick on you a second.
Go ahead.
I'm a former Perot supporter and local leader here in Pennsylvania. And I started watching your TV program after the blitz of the election campaign. And when you look at you on TV, your books on your shelves are out of focus. And at first, a lot of us Perovians thought that was Ross Perot's picture on his books. I'm sorry to say, but I do have one here on my desk, and I've read it. Very good.
Thank you very much. And I don't take that as offense, because I don't think you're the first guy I've ever heard say that my book looks like the cover of Ross Perot's book.
Well, no, I'm not saying the books are similar, but just in looking at it on the TV, it's a little out of focus. And
it's called depth of field.
Yes, not present in television.
Yes.
As of today's technology. I'm a card-carrying founding member of United.
How much did you pay?
$15.
You know, some people are sending in checks of $500 and $1,000.
Yeah, but I got arrested, Rush.
For what?
Well, I've been a dissenter here in Pennsylvania to the United We Stand Pennsylvania leaders who formed this political party, Patriot Party, and it is my opinion that Perot has been clandestinely backing the formation and promotion of this political party, which violates the United We Stand Incorporated's federal nonprofit status under 501c4 of the election laws. And they've been trying their best to quiet my voice.
Are you telling me, wait a minute, I want to make sure I understand something here.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that all is not what it appears in the Perot organization?
Hey, Rush, if you saw those dissenters on TV this last week...
I did.
They are just a minority of those that are out there. There are hundreds of us here in Pennsylvania. You'll be hearing from us on the TV media very soon. And
let me give you a shocker, though.
What's that?
I watched Nightline Friday night. Second of a two-part expose on Perot and United We Stand.
Right.
America. They did a focus group. Frank Luntz, who was a former Perot pollster, did a focus group with Perot supporters only. None of them like him.
Right.
None of them like him personally. None of them would want to have him over for dinner. None of them want Perot to live next to him, but they're going to vote for him. Or they're going to support him, but they don't like him. This is novel. If this is true, this is unique. Most candidacies involve the voters liking, personally, the candidate. In this case, it doesn't matter. They hate the candidate, they dislike him, they're ambivalent or whatever degree, but there is not this robust love, personally, for Ross Perot. What's happening here is that an outsider movement is gaining momentum, and the people in it feel empowered themselves. I mean, they think they themselves are the leaders of it, or very much intimately involved, and that's why the signs of discontent is that Perot is the leader. I've told you people, I wonder why you people are so surprised. Read my book. You say you read the book, read the book. Ross Perot didn't get where he is by letting a bunch of faceless volunteers in his company tell him what to do, when to do it, how to say it, what to say, when to go on TV or whatever. It just didn't happen. But all that doesn't matter. Now, if you are a Republican or a Democrat, if you're Bill Clinton, I guarantee you're sitting there saying, how can I get rid of this Perot guy? If you're Republicans, you're saying, how can I get these Perot people on my side? How can we get these voters? Where are we going to get somebody to get these voters? And the secret apparently lies in promulgating outsider anger, which neither political party can do. They're both inside, by definition. So the only hope, or the only chance now, as we sit here 3.5 years from the next election, the only presidential election, the only thing that, based on what I've seen, what Frank Luntz has said, is that there's going to have to be another personality that epitomizes or champions the outsider mentality that is more likable than Perot. But what are the odds of that? So you can answer the question here for me, Dave. I mean, you've become dissatisfied with Perot. You've found that he's an autocratic dictator. But what does it say about if he were still running? Would you vote for him or not?
Today, not what I know now. Not blindly following him any longer.
Yeah, but who else? Let's say the election is. Pick your favorite Republican. Say Jack Kemp and Clinton running for re-election and Perot. What do?
I don't know. I think I'm back in the same ballpark I was in last February.
See, you are still considering Perot, is the point. Despite what you've just said, you are still considering Perot. Or at least what Perot stands for. And that's what's, I think, fascinating about this. Well, I told you these stories of dissatisfaction and discontent within the organization are going to be, I think it's one of the reasons Perot's on TV every day now lately, is to counter all this other press that's coming about how disorganized, united we stand is and how much anger and revolt there is within the organization. Dave, thanks much. We'll be back in a minute.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Have you ever seen a dirty carpet at the Boston Royal Sonesta Hotel, the Omni Royal Orleans, or the Chicago Sheraton Plaza? Of course not, because these world-class hotels use the lightest weight, heaviest cleaning vacuum they can buy. Mine. I'm David Orrick, inviting you to try my 8-pound Orrick XL upright in your own home before you buy it. Just call 1-800-989-4200 for a free brochure. That's 1-800-989-4200. Nobody else makes an offer like this because nobody else makes a vacuum like this.
Now, honestly, somewhere between the evening news and your favorite reruns, you've got some spare time, right? Well, if you'll spend some of that time with a National Dynamics language program, we'll have you speaking and understanding Spanish, French, Italian, German, or Japanese in 30 days. No books, no classes. Just our audio tapes in your home, car, or portable cassette player. Call this number today. 1-800-545-1985. That's 1-800-545-1985. Now, really, how many reruns can you watch?
The days of cars like 62 Vets and 65 Mustangs are gone forever, but the interest rates are back. There's never been a smarter time to borrow than now at First Citizens Bank, where you can win interest rate discounts on pay-any-day loans and interest-free loan, even a new Z24 convertible in our loan game. Play now at any First Citizens Bank. No transaction necessary. Must be 18 or older. Void where prohibited. Gay men's 9393. Complete details at participating branches. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
All About Travel is your official Walt Disney World headquarters. Call now for Disney's Festival Magic Package, which includes 4 nights hotel accommodations at either the Caribbean Beach Hotel, the Port Orleans Hotel, or the Dixie Landing Hotel, and admission to all of the parks in Disney. Prices start at just $371 per adult, so get your reservations now. Call 751-0464. All About Travel in Cobblestone Place. All About Travel. What travel is all about.
North Carolina State University. Relevance for today and the next century. Chairman of Tennessee's Higher Education Commission, Peaches Gunter Simpkins oversees the state's public universities and technical colleges. She's also an active healthcare proponent and an NC State graduate.
To me, North Carolina State University was a way of life. It gave me a foundation in all of my future endeavors. I found the faculty at North Carolina State, particularly the faculty members in the School of Liberal Arts, Political Science Department, to be really interested in me as a person. They sparred with me on issues. They served as my friends. They graded me very strictly as I pursued academic performance. But generally what I found them to be was a real sense of family. North Carolina State really was the very reason that I can call myself successful today.
North Carolina State University, making a difference for people in our region, our nation, and our world. A message from the Wolfpack Club and NC State.
Always on the right. This is Rush Limbaugh on Goldsboro's very own
Now, behind the scenes at the Clinton
WGBR.
White House. Today, Bill finds a job for cousin.
With half my brain tied behind my back just to make it fair, I am Rush Limbaugh. And this is the Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies, Orange City, Iowa. David, hello. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Rush. This is an honor. Mega dittos from a solid Republican county that went for Bush by like about 75%.
Thank you for calling, sir.
I've thought about this Gergen placement, and it really seems so symbolism over substance for me, in the sense that they always shoot the messenger. And that in this case, it seems that the message is that Clinton's policies and his messages aren't coming across so well. And so if Gergen has to come in with his ideas to kind of temper down Clinton's extreme left position, then it will still show that Clinton is having to back off from some of his positions, his policies, and so on.
Well, but we won't know that until actual policies are changed, offered differently, or implemented differently.
But will
I don't think you can pay attention to anything that's said here. That's axiomatic with this bunch. Do not listen to a word these people say. What good is it? What good is any word coming out of this White House? Good grief, look at the campaign. I'll tell you something. I thought where you were going with this, and maybe you've said it in a way that I didn't understand, but the big problem here is they do not have a communications problem. Their plans are looked upon with increasing disfavor by the people.
That's what I meant in saying that the changing the messenger doesn't change the message.
No, if they still think that you are a fool and that I'm a fool and that a new message is going to have our attitude about their policies change, they're wrong. But I think you may be right that that's what they're hoping for. Don't underestimate, folks, when I tell you how reviled these people, or how reviled Ronald Reagan was by these people. They, to this day, hate Reagan. What do you think this continual revision of history is all about? The last 12 years rhetoric is all about. They hate Reagan. It's personal with them because what he did worked. And it's anathema to liberals, and they're trying to make sure that we never go back to that again because they're not going to be needed if we do it. And so they're sitting there saying, well, how'd Reagan do it? It can't be his policies. Nobody believed that. Hell, every stupid tax cuts, spending increases, deficit reduction. Who's the fool going to believe that? Boy, they bought it, didn't they? How'd they buy it? Must have been slick marketing and package. That's what we'll try. We'll come in here. And what that means is they want to find a new creative way of lying to you. A new creative way of floating trial balloons. And if Gergen goes for this, and that message he sent Clinton out there in the Rose Garden Saturday morning at 7:15, I'm amazed they got anybody from the press corps there, other than the Body Watch crew. The Body Watch crew, there's a camera assigned to the president at all times, in case of any event they want to be there when it happens. So I think you're right. I think you're right on the money with what you're thinking about this, and most people are too. I still think this administration holds the intelligence of the people of this country in contempt, and they basically misjudge it. Back.
You're listening to the EIB Network. On January 20th, did President Bill Clinton declare war on productive Americans? How can you fight back? Send for the Clinton-era survival kit. Yours absolutely free from the American Spectator. Sealed in a confidential tamper-proof pouch. The Clinton-era survival kit provides exclusive reports on Bill, Hillary, and their plans to raise your taxes, radicalize the legal system, and indoctrinate your children. This is inside information the liberal news media wants suppressed at all cost. You'll get all this free, plus an up-close profile of the man most feared by the Clinton administration, Rush Limbaugh. Call 800-441-5757 to get your free, sealed, confidential Clinton-era survival kit, along with 12 issues of the American Spectator, the nation's most fearless magazine, for just $34.95. Remember, it's President Clinton now. He's fit, he's rested, and he's coming after your wallet. Call 800-441-5757 for your free Clinton-era survival kit. Call today, call now. 800-441-5757 and ask for the American Spectator.
You'll see all kinds of friendly people and delicious food at Sandpiper Seafood.
Everybody knows that it's the place to go. You'll see your cousin Sally and your Uncle Joe. Their food is so delicious it'll make you say, if I had 3 wishes I'd be back today. Yeah, everybody knows that it's the place to go.
That's right. At Sandpiper Seafood, you might see Cousin Sally or Uncle Joe. You might even see some funny-looking people you don't even know. But here's what Sandpiper Seafood guarantees you will see. You'll see smiling people digging into delicious shrimp. You'll see friendly people serving you and everybody having a great time at Sandpiper Seafood.
You'll leave us feeling satisfied and wearing a grin, and knowing very soon that you'll be back again. Yeah, everybody knows that it's the place to go.
Come on in to Sandpiper Seafood on Highway 70 in LaGrange.
The Sign Source. John Cox of the Sign Source in Berkeley Junction has all kinds of signs.
Special events.
John Cox can make you a sign just for your own business.
A business sign.
And he also has open house signs, welcome home signs.
For sale.
Yes, and boy or girl signs. And there's a lot more. The Sign Source. How about a sign for an anniversary sale? Or special signs, any signs for the inside or out of your business, custom made just for you. Call the Sign Source, 778-1717, or drop by the Sign Source, Berkeley Junction, Berkeley Boulevard, Goldsboro.
The Sign Source.
When it comes to quality pork products, there's only one pork king, Nahana Pork Center. And when it comes to value, well, this week a family pack of smoked sausage, 99 cents a pound. Smoked slab bacon, 99 cents a pound. Cured slab side, $1.19 a pound. Fresh lean bulk sausage, 4-pound pack, $5, limit 4. And barbecue, buy 2 pounds, get 2 free. You don't have to root around for quality and savings. Shop the Pork King, Nahana Pork Center, Highway 581, 1 mile west of Nahana School.
This is Rush Limbaugh on the Talk of the Town, 1150 WGBR. Back to phones we go to Central Islip in New York on Long Island. Simon, hi. Welcome to the program.
Yes, mega dittos and exclamations to you, Rush.
Thank you, sir, for calling.
I read your book. I think it's great.
Thanks very much.
I wanted to bring up the topic of Bill Clinton speaking at the memorial.
Yeah.
I think it was very disrespectful of him to the vets, seeing that he never served and even dodged the draft, and publicly went against the war in a foreign country at one of the U.S. embassies. I don't think that's conduct becoming of a president. I'm sure he didn't know he was going to be a president then.
Oh, he certainly hoped to be.
Oh, yeah. But I just think it's very disrespectful, as it was shown by all the vets there, that, turned their backs to him, regardless of what he said. I just figured...
Well, there was a mixture. Look, there's some vets there that invited him because they think that he may have something to learn by going there. Not every vet, and certainly not every Vietnam vet, while at the ceremony yesterday, opposed the president's presence, and by no means did all of them protest it. But they did, in many cases, those who were not offended or were not upset thought the president could learn a lot about going to the wall. I, again, call on my studies of human nature. I recall the debates when some person in the audience would raise their hand and ask a question born of economic dysfunction or flight, whatever. Mr. President, I can't pay this. My health care is, I don't have a job. And Clinton would bite that lower lip and grimace, and man, oh man, did you think he was moved. Oh boy, did you think he was moved. Well, I never did. I thought it was practiced, and I thought it was typically liberal to have that much concern, that much compassion, be able to have your heartstrings tugged that much. I've been to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, and I'll tell you, folks, you see every human emotion that you know to exist on display when people are there. You see laughter, you see ambivalence, you see people riding by on bicycles not caring, you see people in tears, you see people in silence, you see people smiling, you see in every emotion. It's impossible to be unaffected when you go there. But if anybody can be, I think it's Bill Clinton. I think if anybody goes there with a need to continue to fool people, then I think his speech was pretty uninspired. The words may have sounded a little pretty uninspired in its delivery, if you ask me. I think it's a show.
When I had my operation last year, open heart surgery, they had to give me a lot of blood. I couldn't get over all the people who came by to see me, like my son's math teacher, Mr. Ringwald. I was surprised he knew about my operation. I didn't know where he...
I told Mr. Ringwald about Dad. He asked me to stay after class one day. He said it was something troubling me. So I told him. And then a few days later, Mom met him. He said he'd just gone to give blood, and how was Dad doing? Mom couldn't figure out how he knew about Dad. I don't tell her everything I do.
I used to give blood every few months, but not lately. Well, when Jason told me about his dad, it reminded me. The next time I saw Jason, I asked about his dad. You should have seen the grateful look on his face. He was smiling, but he was this close to tears.
When was the last time you gave blood? The National Blood Resource Education Program.
WGBR, Goldsboro's very own. From ABC News, I'm Gary Mann. We shopped and spent more in April, but dipped into our savings because incomes failed to grow for the first time since the first of the year. ABC's Tony Sargent reports from Washington.
April consumer spending took the biggest jump in 6 months. Car showrooms did especially well. Spending had dropped in March when the blizzard kept many stores closed. Americans' total personal income was flat in April, mainly because farmers got far fewer subsidies from Uncle Sam. With income flat and spending on the rise, the nation's savings rate